Recording right now. So what's up, everybody? This is Coach Jonathan David Lee. Welcome to our team call today, Fitness Heroes team call. It is August 24th, 2016, and we have, as usual, a very, very special guest with us here today. She's going to be talking about something very awesome, and we're going to go into who the guest speaker is and the topic a little bit later. But before we do, I want to say some news and announcements, right? Well, first of all, recognition. Kristen is really going at it with that Body Beast competition that's coming up, that physique competition. She's going to be participating in next summit along with me. So yes, I'm not going to be wearing Speedos or anything. I'm going to be wearing trunks, right? Just like Josh is participating, Kristen is participating, and I think a few other people too, like Kayla. Say that or she's going to type in the chat box, right? But she's also going to be competing prior to that. So, yeah, Erica. So that's pretty cool. Joseph, we have an upcoming Blitz tomorrow, Coach Blitz. Joseph has already confirmed 6 people. This is the most he's ever confirmed. I think he's also his first Blitz, hosted by Kyle and Melissa. So thank you, Somerville's, right? And Camila just started her new job at Fencers Club in Columbia University, right? That too, she's teaching there. So kudos to you, and you're also coaching, and you're here, right? Brian and his wife are really getting into it. You know, the country heat and the pio. Brian, I just gave you a shout out, and you walked out of the room. So kudos to you, Brian, and your wife, really. Coach Dallas, Kate Dallas, she's only been a coach for 2 weeks, but she's been on all these calls. She helped change her first life, which is her husband. So congrats to her. And Stephanie Trailer, of course, she's getting into the health bet, and she has a customer in there as well. So congrats to all of you guys. Events. So again, Blitz is happening tomorrow. Everybody get your people together, because we're going to pour in that energy and show people what we're all about as a team, guys. Kyle's going to do an amazing job hosting it with Melissa. And it's our job as co-hosts or co-coaches, if we have people in there, pour in that energy, guys. It's our own personal summit. This is our brand. This is what we do. And, of course, be truthful about it. Health Bet is starting September 5th. So get people registered for the tracker if they're not already. And then the following day after that, Tuesday, the first Tuesday of every single month, well, a webinar is about to happen. So we always love that, right? So put it on your calendar. Everything is in our Google Calendar, pin post in our Fitness Heroes page. I like to say that every call. So definitely keep that in mind. Okay, so without further ado, let me see. Angie Peterson is our amazing guest speaker today. She is, first and foremost, a wife, a mother of 7, right? So if those of you are like, oh, I have 2 children, oh, I have 3 children, or like in me, I have 0 kids right now. This lady has 7 kids. And correct me if I'm wrong, are you a 1-star diamond right now, or lifetime 1-star?
Yeah, and 2 business centers.
In 2 business centers. So she's running hers and her husband's. So she is the founder of Team for Living Strong. And you might also know her as the lady boss who runs the Biggest Slim Down contest, right? And that's where the Burn to Earn contest stemmed from. So this lady, dude, her topic is no excuses, or how to knock out your excuses. And who better than to give it than Angie Peterson? So let's give it up for her. And Angie Peterson, I'll pass it over to you.
Thanks, Jonathan. I appreciate you asking me to be on your team call. It's always exciting to talk on another team and see familiar faces. I'm actually like, wow, I know all you guys. So this is fun. So so I wanted to talk about no excuses, because that's something that really does. It's kind of the foundation of who I am as a coach, who I am in my own fitness and health journey. So I'm going to kind of weave my story in, and I do have a PowerPoint presentation. Everyone always knocks me on my team because I always make PowerPoints. It's really to keep me on track, so I'm not looking at my notes the whole time. So I'm going to share my screen really fast here. Okay, can you guys see that? Okay, yeah, okay, great. So let me go here. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to knock out your excuses. Just a picture of me. So I have a lot of excuses. Obviously, Jonathan kind of was talking about some of my excuses already, but let's rewind back to when I only had 5 children. Not as many. I I was diagnosed with arthritis when I was 12, and kind of struggled with it through my teenage years, and got a little bit more serious about health, became a nutrition minor, kind of changed my life that way. Knew exercising was important, really didn't stick to it, but kind of was really struggling. So after the birth of number 2, I was diagnosed with lupus and Sjogren's syndrome and rheumatoid arthritis. They're all autoimmune diseases. They all are very aggressive, and I have to stay on top of it. I'm constant pain. So that's kind of what I was fighting throughout all my childbearing years. And after the 5th one, it kind of all came to a head. I was 30 years old, and I went into the doctor, and they did some x-rays of my hands. So I show my hands right here, and I have such bad arthritis that even at 30, it was so aggressive that it was attacking my joints to where I can't even bend them now. It's even worse than this. This was actually a couple years ago. So this is when I was 30, and I couldn't bend my wrist. And I was like, okay, darn. I got the x-rays results back, and they're like, bad news, this is permanent. Sorry, you're gonna have to start moving the rest of your body, because this is gonna happen to the rest of you. And I was like, holy cow, and that's really when fitness became important to me, because I like to say, scared off the couch. I had to do something, and it was really scary. In the arthritis community, if anyone with rheumatoid arthritis, it's really hard to talk to people about wanting to change things naturally. They just want to be pill poppers. They just want to sit there and kind of complain and moan, woe is me, and just do what the doctors say and put splints on and just not move. And that's your inclination when you're in horrible pain, is just to kind of freeze up and not move. That's the worst thing you can do. So anyway, this was my excuse with my health and fitness journey, is that I'm hurting all the time. But this picture of me holding the purse, that was on Christmas morning. And that was a present I got. And I remember looking at this picture and being like, that cannot be me. I was just like, ugh. I saw that picture. I was overweight. I was depressed. I wasn't even really smiling. It's Christmas, guys. I'm like, don't take a picture of me. That's how miserable I was. And those are my excuses. Like, I'm in pain. I don't want to move. I've got all these kids. I homeschool. My husband deploys. He's in the military. He's often gone. How am I going to take care of me? I can barely take care of you guys. So those were my excuses. And I've had a couple more kids since then. So you see all my 7 kids there. But I have learned that if I'm going to get anywhere in life and make any kind of progress, I have to have a no excuses attitude. So I kind of threw myself into that with my health and fitness journey. I was like, you know what? I was at a crossroads. I could do what the doctor said, be like, let's put some braces on me. I'm going to go to physical therapy and just kind of move things around a little bit and take some pills and some shots. They wanted me to be on chemotherapy drugs, all these horrible things. Or I could try the natural route, right? I could change my diet. I could start exercising. And I just sat there and like, this is one way or this is the other way I could go. And I decided that, you know what? I am going to make this work for me, and I don't care what they say. I don't care what the odds are. This is me and my body, and I have a choice. And so my choice was to make the best of it. So anyone who follows me on Facebook probably sees that I can't do things like normal people. And at first that was really hard to admit. I didn't want to admit that I can't put my hands on the ground to do push-up. I didn't want to admit that I can't even do anything with a dumbbell because I can't grip it. I can't even really button a shirt or unscrew a water bottle. There's a lot of things I can't do because of the damage in my hands. And that's hard to admit that you are vulnerable. But I make the best of it. So I figured out ways that I can do workouts. So whether it's weight training with pulleys, or I use a step riser so I can do planks and side things, and downward dogs, and then instead of dumbbells I have ankle weights on my wrists. And so I make the best of it, and I do the best I can, and if with the no excuses attitude, I've been able to accomplish quite a bit. So my success is that after the birth of number 5, I got within 12 pounds of my weight loss goal, got pregnant again with number 6, got to my 50-pound weight loss goal, and then I had number 7, so up and down, and now these are my 9-month results just from last week. So I still have about 18 pounds left to lose to get to my 60-pound weight loss goal, but I'm getting there. And it's slow and steady progress, but you can even see my hands there. I'm making progress, and that's the important thing. Despite all my excuses, I'm able to do incredible things, according to me. That picture right there was after I finished on the left is the first time I finished the insanity workout. And that was my ultimate goal. I wanted to do the max insanity workouts that were an hour long, crazy workouts, the hardest thing I knew that there was. And that was me talking from 50 pounds overweight. I could hardly climb the stairs, guys. I could hardly get up from a seated position because I couldn't push myself off the ground. I could hardly do anything. And I wanted to do insanity workout. My husband is in the Army. He looked at me like I was crazy. I was crazy. I was crazy to have this amazing dream that I wanted to do it. But I did it because I did it every day and I had a no excuses attitude. So I love this quote by Wayne Dyer. He says, "We become what we think about." And I thought about it all the time. I want to do the insanity workout. I want to be in shape. I want to lose 50 pounds. I had a clear vision in my head of what I wanted. I wanted to be able to keep up with my kids. Yeah, there's still things I can't do. I'll never be able to do. But think of all the things I've been able to do despite everything against me. So when it comes to coaching, I realized after I've been coached for a while that I didn't have a no excuses attitude like I did with my health and fitness journey. I was a hobby coach. I became a coach 4.5 years ago in February of 2012 because they had a military discount. My husband's military. I thought, hey, why not? And you know what? While I'm at it, I might as well try to pay for my Shakeology. My husband's Shakeology, $200 a month. That's what I made for 2 long years. I stayed at Emerald Coach. And I would go to the team calls. I would participate in challenge groups. I ran my free challenges. I told everyone I was a coach. I posted on Facebook. I did everything by the book. But I did not have a clear vision of what I wanted. I didn't have clear goals. I didn't care about Success Club. I had no idea what I was even really making. I didn't even check into my back office. I had free customers I never contacted. I just didn't care. I didn't have a strong enough why because I was a hobby coach. I just want to get my Shakeology paid for. And that's all I did. And so this quote by Don Wilder, "Excuses are the nails used to build a house of failure." I wasn't a failure in that I failed, but I failed myself and my potential. And I wasn't living up to that. So all my excuses of in the middle there, I was pregnant and sick on the couch with that. That's number 5 I'm holding. So I was pregnant with number 6 and I was really sick. And that was right when my business was starting to go. I had just hit diamond and it fell in 2 weeks and became emerald again. And during the pregnancy, I did like squat. Nothing, didn't hit Success Club, didn't care. Guess what? My business didn't grow. But that was because I had a weak why. Well, fast forward a little bit, and all of a sudden my why grew. So this was in February of 2014. My husband deployed. And I had been a coach for 2 years that month, and it was hard. I had 6 kids. My son there was just bawling for his daddy, and everything changed then because I realized he was leaving to start a job where he was going to be deployed all the time. He is in an area where family can go with you if you pay for it. We have a large family. That is dang expensive to go abroad and to go where you want to be if you can't pay for it. And so my why was all of a sudden, I hate having him gone. He's going to be gone. He was gone for 13 months for a while. And during that time, I decided that I was going to throw myself into my business and see what I could do in the year he was gone. So all the time that I used to spend watching Netflix with him and hanging out and doing all these things, I was going to throw into my business. And guess what? Because my why was strong enough, I was able to do amazing things in my business. So hardship can be hard, but you use it as fuel to push yourself in whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. So whether it's your business or your fitness goals or anything like that. And you'll find that when you have no matter what goals, you'll hit those goals. And that's what I did. I decided to set a bare minimum. These are my no matter what goals. And I hadn't had that before. So it made all the difference in the world to have a strong why. So because of that, I was able to do things like hit 1-star diamond in 2 business centers and start the biggest slim down contest and hit Success Club All-Stars and start, a strong team. And those things would not have happened if I hadn't cared so much. And I all of a sudden cared. It's amazing how having that why really does push you. So life is hard. Life is busy. I obviously have a lot going on. You obviously have a lot going on. I just moved. I have a lot of kids. You know, you might travel. Like I said, my husband deploys. I homeschool. I don't have a lot of time in the day. And I want to be completely honest when I say I don't spend hours a day on my business. I spend like 15 minutes here, 30 minutes there, maybe a total of like an hour or two every day. Yet those little things make a big difference. And sometimes I get really down on myself and think, gosh, if I didn't have all these kids or all this crazy schedule, I'd be doing awesome in my business, right? But then I have to like kick myself. My family is my why. Why am I using them as my excuse? Do you guys do that? Do you use your why as your excuse? And your reason for doing it in the first place? You're like, oh. So I have to kind of kick myself in the butt and say, hey, you know what? You're doing it for them, so don't use them as your excuse. So speed bumps happen, and there's times on my team where I have coaches on my team messaging me. Oh my gosh, my 2 dogs are dying. I've got a $2,000 vet bill, or my husband just lost his job. We've got to replace the roof on my house. You know, whatever it is, and they have all these things that are coming at them. I'm like, okay, yes, it sucks, but use that as fuel. This is the best thing that could have happened in your business. Maybe not your life, but in your business, because you have a rock solid why that is going to get you to where you need to go. So if you have your husband without a job, use this time and that frustration and that pain to push you to do what you wouldn't do if you didn't have that. So that can be the best thing. So those speed bumps, use them. Don't use them as an excuse. Use them as a reason. You have that no excuses attitude. It will keep you from quitting. You might slow down, but just don't quit. Just keep going. And that's what I always have in my head. I might have slowed down, but I'm not going to quit. So are you letting your excuses dictate your life? A lot of us are. We have lots of excuses. I'm sure you guys hear it all the time as coaches, right? I can't start this program right now. I'm in school. I can't start the program right now. It's summer. I've got too much going on. Oh, school again. You know, and it's like one thing after another. People are going to have excuses because it's not important enough to them. So if it's important to you, you will find a way. If not, you'll find an excuse. I love that quote by Jim Rohn. It is one of my absolute favorites. I need to put it on a pillow. And this book by Grant Cardone, I didn't get the exact quote because this is kind of the central theme of the book, the 10X Rule. So if you haven't read it, great book. But he basically says it takes as much energy to make excuses and explain why you can't do something as it does to actually go and do it and get it done. So use that same energy, that same time to just go do it. Stop making excuses. Just go get it done. So the difference between success and failure has nothing to do with talent, experience, any of that. I have had so many coaches sign up, and I think they're going to be an amazing coach. They just have the look. They've got 2,000 friends on Facebook. They have Facebook ad trading, you know, whatever it is. Oh, they've got experience with network marketing. I think they're going to be awesome. If they have the no excuses attitude, they're going to be successful no matter what their background is. If they don't, they're going to be a flop. They're going to be a failure. It does not matter how much training, how much experience, how many friends, any of that. Doesn't matter. You have to have a no excuses attitude, period. That is the difference between success and failure. Everything you do comes down to your strong why and your self-discipline. This is a great quote by Theodore Roosevelt. The one quality which sets one man apart from another. It's the key which lifts one to every aspiration while others are caught up in the mire of mediocrity is not talent, formal education, nor intellectual brightness. It is self-discipline. With self-discipline, all things are possible. Without it, even the simplest goal may seem like the impossible dream. So I love that. Nothing to do with any of that stuff. It's all about self-discipline. I read this really kind of scientific, deep book called The Willpower Instinct by Kelly McGonigal. She has this great Google Talk. So if you look up Google Talks, type in her name, it's great. It's like an hour long. But she gives you the basics. Basically, she talks about how your willpower is like a muscle and you have to use it. And the more you use it, the more strong it gets. However, it's not about just willpower. It's about your why power and your want power. So if you have a strong enough why, it will push you. So you have the willpower to do what you want to do. And if you want it bad enough, it'll push you. So what you have to do what others don't do. You have to do what others won't do to have what others don't have. I love that by Les Brown. So anyway, I have this friend, you might know her, named Shannon Galladay. She's my personal coach. She has a great no excuses attitude. I used her as an example because a couple months ago, she had this crazy leak in her house. And this was right during the time when she had a lot going on. And I remember the day before this happened, she's like, I don't even know how I'm going to do everything. I've got this webinar, I've got this, I've got my girls starting school, and da 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 da. She was like going crazy. And then all of a sudden she has this leak in her house. She had to spend hours rearranging her house, finding people to make, you know, the repairs that she needed, pulling furniture out and all this stuff. She didn't have time, right, for any of that. But because it was a disaster, she had to take care of it. And that's what you'll find. If you have something in your life you think you don't have a lot of time for, all of a sudden, oh my gosh, my car broke down. I have to spend all this time. You know, if it's important and it's big enough, you will make the time. And that's the same type of attitude you have to have toward anything that you want to succeed in. You make the time. I don't have a lot of time. If I were to go try to find the time, it wouldn't be found because I don't have a lot. But because it's important, and that's the thing that people ask me all the time, how do you find the time to exercise with 7 kids with all the stuff going on? I just make it. It's important to me. So it's going to happen no matter what. That's one of my no matter whats. So life bumps will happen. Use it as fuel, and it's good news for your business, like I said. There's a really good book called Excuses Be Gone by Wayne Dyer. If you listen to it on Audible like I did, he's got a really dry voice. So you have to get past that because he's got really good things to say. But I love what he said. He said that Richard Brody said an excuse is a mind virus. So whenever you've got excuses floating in your head, think of them as mind viruses, and they're contaminating you. These negative ideas are contagious, and they will spread. So have you ever been around anyone that all they do is make excuses, and they're really negative, and what happens? Everyone around them becomes grumpy. They start making excuses too. It is contagious. So what happens if someone's the opposite? They're positive, they're upbeat, they're, no matter what, they have a smile on their face. You can't get them down. That's the type of attitude that you need, and that is contagious too. So whatever it is, any idea that you have, any attitude that you have, you've got to spread it. Make sure it's positive, right? And make sure that it's not that mind virus going on, because it is going to infect everyone around you. So you have to reprogram your head, reprogram your mind through personal development, and make sure you have that I can attitude. Be the cure for everyone else around you, especially your team. This is really important as a coach. You be the cure for your team. If you've got, people on your team that are making excuses, because I see it all the time. I can't do this challenge group because I've got this or that going on. I'm traveling. Yeah, but there's coaches out there that do it anyway. And if it's important, you'll get it done. So be that example. Be the one that has that no excuses attitude. And you'll find that when I started displaying this no excuses attitude, that, hey, I'm going to exercise even though I can't do it right. My kids they actually said this morning, I was doing an Insanity Max 30 workout, and they're like, hey, you're doing it just like him. That never happens, Mom. I'm like, thanks. Yeah, I'm always modifying everything. But you just have to just do it. Just be that person and stop using your excuses as chains, because they'll hold you down. So if you're like in a pit and you've got all these chains over you are never going to go up. You're going to be like reaching, like, oh, I wish. But you've got all these chains, they're going to hold you down. So free yourself of all those chains. So these are the steps that Wayne Dyer gives to how to knock out your excuses. Number 1, be aware. Just observe, pay attention to the fact that you're making excuses. I think sometimes that's the hardest part, is to catch yourself in that trap. And I do it all the time. I'm like, oh, dang, I'm doing it again. Like I have to keep a constant vigilance on myself that I'm making excuses. So make sure you're paying attention to when you're making excuses. Number 2, alignment. If you have certain goals, make sure that your thoughts are in alignment with those goals. Your excuses are misalignments. So every time you're like, oh, I wish I was a 2-star diamond coach, but I don't have time to do my coaching business. That's a misalignment. You're making excuses. So make sure that you are in alignment with your goals. And alignment is awareness in action, resetting your mind and your thoughts. So I really love that. Number 3, now. This is one thing that I catch myself in all the time. Oh, when my husband gets back from deployment, I'll have all sorts of time. Oh, when my kids get a little older and I don't have a baby, it'll be so much easier. Oh, you catch yourself doing this, like putting it off in the future. Like, I'm going to have more time then. I'm going to have more time then. And then the time comes and you don't have more time, or it's not easier, or, whatever it is. It's never going to be easier. You're never going to have more time. Life is always going to be crazy. You're always going to be busy. So do it now. Stop putting it off. And that's one thing I like to tell any of my challengers. They're like, oh, I like to do this, but I'm going to wait till September when things calm down. Like, is it really going to calm down? Probably not, right? How about now? Now's good. So take Action now. Time is nothing more than a series of present moments. If you do not learn to take action in the now, then it will never happen. So now is good. Now, step number 4, contemplation. Are you taking ownership of your life, full responsibility? So just kind of evaluate yourself. Are you really doing everything that you would like? Are you taking ownership of your life? So at this point, you're probably got some excuses bouncing around in your head. What I really wanted to do was to have you guys put in the chat box your best excuse. What is holding you back from getting to where you want to be in your business? Whether it's time, money, whatever, your job, your kids, what's your best excuse? I'd love to hear them. Let's see. I don't even know if I can see it on this view. Oh, there we go. I was a student. I have no kids or a dog. I'm not blonde. So yeah, you're like, okay, I've got all this stuff going on. I've got kids. Those are all good excuses, and we all use them. You hear them all the time. So just make sure that you're using you're punching those excuses out. So that, like that picture at the very beginning, use your punching bag. Get them out of your life. Get them out of your head. Protect yourself. So put up those barriers, and those barriers are personal development. To be quite honest, I know we say it all the time. Get your mind right. Get your mind right. Get your mind right. That's the best way to do it. If you don't protect yourself, it's going to prevent you from succeeding. And so you've got to come up with your reasons for doing it and stop using it as your excuses. Like I said, I often use my kids as my excuse when honestly they're my reason. So I'm like, stop it, Angie, stop it. So you have to put your excuses to the truth test. So this is one thing Wayne Dyer keeps saying in his book. Is this really true? Do I really not have any time? Do I really not have the energy? Do I really not have the money? Whatever it is that the excuse does. So it's all about placing blame. This is one thing. There is a video that is on YouTube, and I should probably look it up again, but it is by Jim Rohn, and he talks about how you can place the blame on everybody else. You can make a list about why you are not succeeding in your business, for example. And he's like, you can blame the government, you can blame your neighbors, you can blame your spouse, your kids, your parents for not raising you right, you can blame the weather, you can blame all sorts of things, your college for not training you right. But when it comes right down to it, there should be one person on that list, and that is you. You are the only reason that you are holding yourself back. That's it. No other valid reason in this world. And I like to think of that. So whenever I want to sit down and jot down all my excuses, I cross them all out, and I'm like, me, that is my excuse right there. And that's what you guys need to do too. So if you want to even do that, sit down, write down all excuses, and then cross them all out, because those are not valid. You are holding yourself back. So stop wishing, start doing. And with that excuses be gone attitude, you are going to be able to do amazing things. So this popped up in my newsfeed today, actually. This was me last year. I was pregnant. I remember I had just torn a muscle in my stomach. Long story, but just pulled a muscle in my stomach. I could barely move, and I was like, gosh dang it, I'm going to get my exercise in anyway. So I sat in a chair and I did upper body. This was the 21 Day Fix upper body workout. And I was like, I don't care. You're not going to hold me back. And that is, I need to, remember that, because it's empowering to say, you are not going to hold me down. I'm going to do something. I'm going to do more than what you say I could do, or what you think I can do, or what science dictates I can do. Whatever it is, do your best always, and do more than that. So anyway, that is my final thought right here, is when you discipline yourself to do the things you need to do when you need to do them, the day will come that you can do the things you want to do when you want to do them. So whether that's in your business, having financial freedom, being able to go on vacation whenever you want, or going to go pick up your kids. I have a coach on my team, you might know her, Rachel Park. She quit her job. She hated, and now she gets to sit in line and wait for her daughter at school. She's like, I'm sitting here for an hour and 15 minutes to pick up my daughter, and it is a dream come true. And you guys might not understand this, but I didn't used to be able to do this. And just seeing things like that is amazing, because she can now do the things that she always wanted to do, because she has that freedom. And now I can do things, amazing things, like the insanity workout that I always wanted to do that I thought was impossible. So just little things. Knocking out the excuses day in and day out. What kind of life do you want? So hopefully that was all helpful and made some sense. Did anyone have any questions? Stop sharing.
Oh my gosh. What energy. Come on, guys. Give a round of applause for that, man. Well,
Thanks, guys.
when are you speaking at Summit? That's my question to you. You know? You spoke with the same like energy and veracity or whatever that word is, right? As those Summit speakers. No, seriously, because you weaved your own story into it, and it feels like, even though we don't have 7 children, I can connect because like it was personal. When they say it's more you, then people see it in themselves in some way. Right? Again, I don't have 7 kids, but I see all my other excuses. Right?
Yeah.
Well,
you can tell I'm passionate about the subject.
Yeah, I think I'm about to cry a little bit in a few parts. I don't know. That's where the realness comes in. So thank you for bringing that into the webinar, into the slides.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. Anyone have questions for Angie? Oh, she's still here. Oh, she's gonna go back to her, like her duties.
No. I did want to put in a plug for our biggest slim down contest. A lot of people have been asking. Sorry, I've been in the midst of a move. So we are starting the next one. If you guys would like to join in on October 3rd. So that's the first Monday of October. We thought that was a good time because we'll end on the 30th, right before Halloween. So we didn't want to overlap Halloween. So, yep.
Camila asks, what's your daily schedule?
Daily schedule. So it really depends. And to be quite honest, I would love to have like a flat schedule of like, hey, I'm going to wake up at 5 o'clock and do my business till 6 and then do my workout. And that's the plan. But it never works out because I have a baby and I've got a lot of kids. And I homeschool. So they're always here. But what I try to do is wake up with my husband in the morning, do about 30 minutes of answering messages that I get during the nighttime, and then post in my challenge groups and things like that. And then I put on my personal development, and I'll drink my ENE, or I guess it's Energize now, Energize, and let it kick in. And then I'll put on my personal development and I have it going while I do my workout, which a lot of people think is crazy, but I honestly hate working out and it distracts me. So it has my brain going in a different direction, so I don't concentrate on my workout. So I've got my personal development going for at least 30 minutes during that. And then afterwards, usually my kids are up by then, getting breakfast, and so then we'll start school. I do really good now. I used to not do so good about putting my phone away and not looking at it during school hours. I'm not answering messages, guys. I turn off my data and my Wi-Fi and only get phone calls so my husband can get a hold of me. That is the only way I can mentally disconnect. So sometimes I'll turn it on during lunch just to do quick messages, but honestly, I usually don't pick up my phone again until after dinner because I'm like, family time, that's it. And my coaches know, my customers are pretty good about knowing that I answer messages first thing in the morning and at night. That's it. So I do some phone calls here and there during the day if I can't get them later. I try to just save them for after dinner or first thing in the morning. So anyway, that's kind of my schedule. Like I said, like half an hour here, maybe an hour in the evening. I don't do a ton. And when I do it, it's like, leave me alone. I'm closing myself in the closet, like focus, because that is how I've got to get it done. So, yep.
That's why it took you so long to message me. Okay.
Yes.
No, but I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you have to respect yourself and you have to respect your time. And honestly, I used to do 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. Oh, I just did math with someone. Answer quick messages. Oh, I just did science with someone else. Oh, this. And I was like trying to do it here and there. And I drove myself absolutely crazy. I just have to shut it off. And you find that you're more focused, then you get more done. So I can actually do more in a short amount of time if I'm very focused. So, yep. Any other questions? No? And I think it helps too to know, like, have a plan. So if you know what you're going to do, you get it done really quick. Also, just make sure that you figure out what's worthwhile of your time. I figured out that running a blog, not worthwhile of my time. I only do Facebook. I don't focus on the other. I don't have time for anything else. So I'm very selective. Like, I'm only going to do this. I'm only going to do that. I delegate a lot to my team. So I've got coaches that are going like, hey, you run the next coach training. Sound good? Yeah. And they rise to the occasion, and it actually does better for them. So it takes a lot off of your plate. Pick and choose your battles.
And you're building them up as leaders should.
Yes, exactly. Not hand-holding as much.
Yeah.
So, all right.
So we've got 1 minute left, right, guys? So probably not enough time to take any more questions, but feel free to, give Angie some love, message her, tell them how much you appreciated this, her time and this call. And if you're ready to knock out your excuses, let's put up a fist. All right, and that's gonna be our photo, guys. If you're ready, who's ready to knock out their? I can't put up a fist because I gotta take this. It's just so awkward. Everyone else got a fist. Fist in the air, guys. 3, 2, 1. Thank you, Angie.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. I'll send you all of this if you wish.
Okay, that'd be great. Thanks.
Good night,
Bye,
guys. Good night, peeps. Good night, everybody. Good night, Camila. And Dallas and Stephanie. Was that helpful?